Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Gaming After Dark for this March the 31st, 2020. Can this year end already, please? But we're gonna have a good show coming at you tonight, folks. Boom, boom, kaboom, snoof, nukem in the room. And as usual, I am back with my incredible co-host, the amazing
Primal Eve, who's old today.
He's older. It is Primal's birthday, everybody. So if you didn't know that, drop her a happy birthday in the chat. What is going on? Speaking of the chat, before I introduce our fantastic guests tonight, we have got Spider-Man 356, Jesse Darby. Timothy Dixon is in the house. We got Back from the Dead is here. Docky Dog is in the chat. Matt Burns is here. So we got a good crew, and we are ready to rock and roll. Hope you guys are doing well, staying safe, keeping your social distance, as they say, all that stuff. Hey, Craig Simmons, Hollywood is in the chat. So like I said, it's going to be a fantastic show. We got some dynamite topics, and again, we have a first-time guest on this particular podcast. I think in the past I may have podcasted before. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys probably have seen him around through the podcast community. I want to give it out for Avers from G4G Media. Avers, how are you? And welcome to Gaming After Dark.
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for having me on, and happy birthday, Primal. Glad to be here on this momentous occasion with you and Noof today. We've got some great topics, as you said, and excited to get into this. Let's get it going.
Good. I hope you brought lots of energy because you're going to need it to keep up with being Primal.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it's her birthday, so you can tell she's filled with cake and maybe some other things.
Oh, I wish. I certainly do. And no cake or presents today. It was just like a regular day. So, but I'm used to that. I'm getting older. Not as old as you guys probably, but no. Just kidding.
I'll send you a care package with some Betty Crocker. How about that?
Oh my God, yes.
Hey, I gotta ask you, Primal, is it true that every year your tits sag just a little bit lower?
I fear this. Because I know like once I hit like 60, 70, my tits are gonna be fucking hitting my knees. Like I'm already prepared for this. I've already accepted it, but they are still. The gravity hasn't taken in yet.
So one of these days you're gonna have a boyfriend who's gonna say, "Why are your knees always bruised?" And you're like, "Hey, let me take off my shirt."
Yeah, my tits will hang low and they will wobble to and fro. It'll happen, just not yet.
Oh, there we go. The show's off to a great start tonight, and we're all crossing our fingers and hoping that Primal's internet makes it through the whole show. So let's hope that her birthday goes well. That's her birthday wish already. It doesn't shit the bed.
It'd be a great
let's catch up with the chat again. We got Rico Dennis here. The blue one is in the chat. Jay Slayer Jay. Man, we got, like I said, we got a wicked crew up in here tonight. So people obviously strolling in. So thank you. Make sure you share this stuff out, guys. Hit that like button, all that good stuff. Yeah, so what's everybody been up to? What's everybody been playing? I'll start off with our guest. Avers, what kind of games have you been kept busy with so far during this social isolation period?
Oh, man, I've been going back and forth between 3 different titles right now. One of them is the huge Gears 5. They just had an update today. It's Operation 3, Gridiron. So they've added new modes. They've added new characters. So a couple new maps in there. Lots of quality of life improvements, so that has been incredible so far. I'm really liking what I saw. Been playing Bless Unleashed.
Yeah, I've heard of that one. I played that a little bit myself, but not much.
What'd you think of it though?
I never played enough to give it an honest opinion. Probably about 40 minutes. Got to the tutorial. I think I got out in this world, and there was like people going around, so I didn't really play enough. I'll have to get back into it though.
Yeah, it's an MMO, but it's tailored for console. So it's tailored for a controller, and it's got combos and things like that. So it's a little harder to get, once you get going with that, it's a little harder to get bored with it like you do with certain MMOs where you're just doing the grind all the time. Definitely has some grindy stuff too, though, for people that like that feedback loop. And then the third one is Bleeding Edge, new Game Pass game, Xbox Game Studios game. Been really digging that. Just got the 1,000 gamer score on that one already. So yeah.
Wow, that was quick.
Damn. Yeah.
Well, it's only 2 achievements, so it sounds like a bigger thing than it is. So.
Well, we know you're in
like an Apex thing. So. Yeah.
I know you're in the right place if you're used to grinding, because that's something that me and Primal like to do, but it's just a different type.
I grind any way possible. Some pepper, yeah, sure. Here.
You have shaved those bedposts down by now, huh? Yo, that's right. Hit the like button. Jesse Darby is in the house. Who else just jumped in here? It wouldn't be an explosive show without HR Bomber in the chat. What is going on? Born Distracted is here as well. Like I said, we got a great crew. So welcome everybody to this episode, Gaming After Dark. Our guest tonight is Avers G4G Media. Go check him out, but he'll give you those details a little bit later on. Primal, how about yourself? Have you been able to sit down at all? Been able to, really sink your teeth into a game?
I'm actually wrapping up BioShock Infinite right now.
Nice.
And then I don't know what to do. I've been playing the game of like staring at my dashboard. Like I need something exciting. I need something to fulfill my needs. And it has been happening lately. I don't know if anybody has any suggestions or I just I don't know what to do with it.
Should I even tell you guys what I've been playing? I'm probably going to get a few laughs for sure.
I can already tell them. I can tell everybody.
Go ahead, Primal. Tell them what Noof Nukem of all games you've been playing.
He's been dick deep into Animal Crossing.
Oh, thank God you at least said the crossing part, because otherwise it would have dick deep in animals. That's something for a
different show. Yeah,
that's something Cletus would do. Yeah, I've been playing some Animal Crossing. I actually tried today, streamed it, was the Resident Evil 3 demo. That was fantastic. I liked the demo. If you love the second part, I'm pretty sure you're going to love this one. It feels, virtually the same. Again, fantastic graphics, all that good stuff. It wasn't a very long demo, but it was a lot of fun when I played of it. And obviously, outside of Animal Crossing, I've been just playing, been back into Mass Effect 3. Because I've never finished it, oddly enough. So I want to get back to that. There's a few other games I've been playing as well. So just so many games out there right now. I know a lot of people are playing Doom Eternal. I might pick that up down the road, but I don't have it right now. And hey, Matt Burns, we're on for tomorrow, bro. Get that game downloaded. I think you do. Let's play that shit tomorrow. It is co-op. Can't wait to play it. We're talking about Dead Space 3, but looking for someone to actually roll that with me. And I guess we got some time, so let's do that. Yeah, Animal Crossing to me it's like a Nintendo version of Minecraft. Like it's just so simple, easy, like a relaxing kind of game, not overly stressful. It's just a good dick around game, as they call them, But yeah, it is what it is. Who else we got? It Darko. Hey, Darko, what's going on? Darko was in my stream today, actually, watching me play Resident Evil. So thanks for coming out to that, Darko. Greatly appreciated. Yeah, so there you go. So that's what everybody's been playing. Let's get into some topics, shall we? So let's get the show on the road. Let me just fire over to my messages here. And we got, like I said, we got some juicy stuff tonight. We're going to start with one that we always talk about every time it's announced, and that is games with gold. We already know that PlayStation Plus has dropped a couple of doozies this month. I think Uncharted 4 was one of them. I forget what the other one was. I don't know if anybody can remember what it was, but Uncharted 4.
Rally, I believe.
Yes, Dirt Rally 2 and Uncharted 4. So I would say two pretty damn good games, even if Uncharted is a bit older, but two damn good games. Now, here is Xbox's offering for those of you who have not checked it out yet. We have Cars 2, or Project Cars 2, which is from April 1st to the 30th. Also from April 1st to the 15th, we have Fable Anniversary, the remaster. And then we have one called Knights of Pen and Paper 1 and 2, so like a combo. And then there's one called Toy Box something or another. It's like a racing game, Toy Box Turbo with the little racing cars. So, yeah. So that that is our game. Need I say any fucking more on that?
Hey, at least it's 4 games, though, right?
It is 4 games. So, yeah, so we know PlayStation give us a pretty good shot in the chops this month. Where would you say Xbox stands in this ring? And I'll start with you, guest.
Well, yeah, not the best games, not the biggest games out there. The one good positive I can say about that lineup is at least I don't own any of those games digitally. I have Fable. I have a physical copy of that, so it'll be nice to get the digital version. But yeah, I mean, they're losing this month on that battle with PlayStation back and forth. But we've got 4 there, so it's kind of good.
That's true. Kind of sucks considering the scenario we're in right now, where you'd hope they might have given us something really juicy considering the situation that we're all in. But hey, I'm sure they're saying, hey, there's lots on Game Pass, right? Let's not give them let's give them not too many reasons not to drop that extra $1 for the month or whatever, right?
Yeah, they don't want to cannibalize Game Pass in any way, so.
All right. Primal, how about yourself? Is anything on that particular list you don't get your twat in a knot?
Nah, absolutely. There's only so many times you can play Fable. If you've all been playing as long as most of us have. Another thing is they already had Fable in Game Pass. I'm noticing a lot of the games that are free with gold are in Game Pass already, so it kind of defeats the purpose of people kind of doubling up on the subscriptions. And then I don't know. I've always said ever since they ran out of Assassin's Creeds to do games with gold, it's all been kind of downhill. And Game Pass is definitely causing it to be this way too. It's kind of forcing everybody like, hey, if you really want something better,
Right.
pay this, blah blah blah. And it's cool. Like I love Game Pass completely, but don't damage something that you already had going for you for years now. And especially don't punish people for not having Game Pass. So that's just how I see it. They need to step it up.
Well, I guess, like I said, those games, it's one of those subjective things because somebody's probably looking at those games of gold and thinking, wow, that's amazing because there's Fable and you got Project Cars. And Project Cars is not an old racing game by any means, but, according to my Xbox friends, Project Cars, I don't know if I've ever seen even more than one or two people ever play that game. Like, I didn't like the first one, so I'm not even going to attempt the second one. I got enough racing games now without that one. Now, that other Toy Box one does look like it could be something interesting, especially if it's got a multiplayer in there, because some of those lighthearted, Mario Kart style games or whatever tend to be a lot of fun. So I might have to check it out, and I definitely want to check out Fable, right? So I played the original Fable, but I've never played Fable Anniversary. So, and I haven't played that game in years now, so that would kind of be fresh to go back and play it if I can get the time. And that's the other thing, right? So all these games, not enough time. Well, we probably got a little bit more time than we ever anticipated right now.
Some of you, but I'm essential.
Yeah, you're working. Let's catch up with the chat again because we got some people dropping by here. Who else dropped in? Dreadpool is in the house. Dreadpool, what is happening, brother? What's happening? Matt Burns. Yes, I think I mentioned Matt. Cyber Gunter is here. So, yeah, we got the crew. Speaking of Game Pass and things, earlier today I had a little back and forth on Twitter. And Doggy Dog, who's in the chat. What's up, Doggy Dog? He had a pretty good idea. He kind of said that, maybe they need to drop this format and come up with some sort of incentive for, say, Xbox owners, like give them some DLC or some sort of credit. And I totally agree. And I definitely think that is something that they should do. I think eventually what they could do, or at least my take off of what Doggy Dog said, was why don't you give your Xbox Live Gold members some choice? So either one, you take the free games allotted to you for the month and you accept that by clicking a box that says I accept the games, or two, you take a credit. Now, it wouldn't be like a crazy big credit because I'm sure Microsoft doesn't want to give out cash like it's going out of style, but give them some credit towards anything they want to use in the store. So you want to go rent a movie, you want to put the 15 or 20 bucks down on a game, like even that would be a huge help. Brand new game comes out, hey, there you go, I got 20 bucks off, or you take a percentage off of something in the store, whatever it might be. Why not do something like that? I think would make everybody happy, and that would certainly please those fans too, who already played those games at Gold Games. So either which way, it would be a win for people that don't have them, and it would be a big win for the people that do, because they could go spend it in the store. And it's not kind of a win-win. You're still spending money back in the store, right?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I take credit every time.
Yeah. What's HR Bomber saying up in there? I think Noob only has a particular toy box he likes to play with. That could be true. Like a little grass on the field. Dreadpool dropping $2 in the super chat. He says, everyone, super chat works. Help out. Share it out. Yes, indeed, guys. Super chat does work. And any donation you want to drop in super chat is greatly appreciated. And I don't need a super chat to give you guys a shout out, because you are as much a part of this show as we are. You're fantastic. Squirrely Dan is here, who just finished up Gears 4. Me and Squirrely were having a great conversation earlier, and I think we were talking about Game Pass off the air, all that sort of stuff. So there you go. I just want everybody to be safe, man. Glad you could be here to check out the podcast. But Games of Gold, it's safe to say from the three people on this panel tonight, I give it a nay. Avers?
Yeah, it's a thumbs down.
Thumbs down. Primal. There you go. How about the chat, guys? What would you give this on a scale of on the A, B, C, D, E, F, G scale, or maybe from the 1 to 10, probably the 1 to 10, where would you rate this lineup this month? I mean, like, it is what it is. Free games are free fucking games. I get it. You're not going to sit here and complain. Like, nobody really cares. After a day or so, we go back to business and we just play our game.
Yeah, right? It's not going to linger on my mind for weeks.
Exactly. But it's still fun just to, there you go. HR Bomber says, blah. There you go. Doggy Dog puts a big old pile of crap up in there. Cybergunner gives it a big old 0. Froggy T. Wright gives it a 5, somewhere in the middle. Darko says, yeah, free's always good. Doesn't really tell me if he likes it or not. Dreadpool gives it a 5. Casket Repairs in the chat, and he says, I made it woo, so he hasn't commented yet. Craig gives it a big thumbs down. Bomber, 3.5. Cybergunner gives it a 69, like you knew he would. Spider-Man gives it a 6. There we go, guys. There you go. So I think we know it's in the middle of the road. It ain't necessarily terrible, but it ain't exactly lighting anybody's panties on fire. And right now, Primal Eve could probably go with a little panties on fire.
Yes, if I wore them.
So your hair would be up in flare. Or do you keep the landing strip clean down there? That's the question. Huh?
I don't know. With this COVID shit, me not being able to do anything. Things might be a little different.
Oh, man, yeah.
My usual.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right, let's get into the next topic of the night. Games of Gold, self-explanatory. Now, this next one is juicy, guys. I don't know if many people heard about this one today. Kind of sort of came under the radar, but I thought it was very interesting. It was done by Prima Games, the link that I found, oddly enough, but it says Microsoft reportedly looking to buy Silent Hill and Metal Gear from Konami. Now, the big question is, could this be true? And how huge is that if it is? I will start with Primal and you take this one away. Primal. I mean, if Microsoft buys, I mean, I don't see them buying Konami as a whole, but it's definitely a possibility that they could buy IPs. We've seen stuff like this done in the past. If they were to buy Silent Hill and Metal Gear, how big would that be for Xbox?
Oh, it'd be massive. Are you kidding me? Who doesn't like? I'm not a massive Metal Gear fan. I do love me a Solid Snake though. But I just who wouldn't play that? At all.
Yeah,
and same thing with Silent Hill. It's been so long to actually have something part of the series again that was actually true to the story. I think it would be a very smart move to do that. There's 2 massive fan bases right there.
So you're not a big fan of Metal Gear so much, but you like Silent Hill?
I'll do some Silent Hill. I'm a pussy when it comes to those games, as some of you know, but I am kind of trying to break out of my box. So yeah, no, I would try another Silent Hill. I'm doing a lot better with those games. Metal Gear, I'm not a stealth person. If you ever talk to anybody that has played a stealth game with me, I'm absolutely horrible. I can't do it. Except for I will say Rainbow Six will probably be one of the few ones I'll behave in. But
yeah,
no.
I've heard you're not good at stealth games because your tits enter the room 30 seconds before you do.
What is that? Either that or they can hear my snail trail. I missed that. I missed that when Glitchers did that last episode. Forgot about it.
Yep. Oh, she loves the Solid Snake. Yeah, it also slid under my radar. Okay, but it would be massive, I think, for Microsoft. We know that obviously Phil and company have spent a lot of time in Japan, and I'll give you my take on it in a second. Do you have any more that you'd like to say, or we'll pass this over to Avers?
There's nothing more to say besides that would be a smart move.
Be very smart. Avers, what's your take on this whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if they can get all of those IP, that's quite a catalog there. For me personally, the Silent Hill would be the one I would be interested in out of all of that stuff that they've got there, Konami. With the article though, there are some issues there with some of what they said. There's something in there where they mention that they would still allow Konami to, if I read this right, correct me if I'm wrong, they would still allow them to receive royalties on any games that they release in the future that were old games from Konami. So like if they did a remaster or something.
Yeah.
Is that accurate? Is that what they said?
Yeah, I didn't catch that part, but you know what? That totally would make sense. That anything that's in their back catalog, that they'd still make money on, and that even if they wanted to keep royalties from the franchise itself, like
Mhm,
a certain percentage, it wouldn't surprise me. You know what I mean? Because at least they would still be making some bucks,
mhm.
but it would be a huge marketing factor going forward for Microsoft.
Yeah, it'd be pretty big. I just can't see with what Microsoft has been through with certain studios, certain things they've dealt with, like what happened with Platinum Games and
Hmm.
Scalebound, and a couple of other things that they've gone through with Quantum Break and the
Hmm.
studio that's doing that, and a couple other games. I can't see them agreeing to something like that because that's going to eat into their profitability on something. So that kind of brings it into question a little bit. But if they're is any truth to some of these rumors? It's been 2 or 3 years since we've started hearing that Konami was looking to sell off some of these things.
Yeah.
So there's got to be something going on there. So I can
Well,
see. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. Yeah.
I could see there being a little bit of truth to this because of the old adage of where there's smoke, there's fire.
Hmm.
But I just don't know how accurate this particular report is. If it's going to come out this way, or if they're just going to buy a couple of different things. And about a month or two ago,
Hmm.
one of the developers that works for Kojima that was doing
Yep.
Death Stranding before posted a screenshot and saying he was working on stuff, and it seemed like there was a couple clues that he was trying to say he was working on a future Silent Hill game. So that also kind of brings it into question as well. But yeah, man, if Microsoft get this would be a big win for Xbox and their catalog for sure.
Yeah, I don't care how you spin it. If this turns out to be true, it would be huge. Even if they only buy those two IPs, those
All
are
right.
two massively well-known IPs that date back now over 20 years. You know what I mean? And what a better way to basically make some dents and make some noise, especially in the Asian market, is by getting franchises they know and love from a publisher that's definitely been, is well known in the East, so to speak. In Konami. But there's no secret, guys. I mean, if you look at even all the games that Konami's published over the last few years, I mean, what was the last massively successful game that they actually had? It was probably Metal Gear Solid 5, right?
Yeah.
I mean, outside of PES, I know they spend a lot of money to make the soccer game. They make that just about every year, or football, whichever country you want to refer it to. But they make PES, right? But outside of PES, Konami hasn't really had much hits. Like they've got to be going down because remember in the 80s and 90s, like Konami was like publishing games like Capcom. It was like all the time, and now you rarely see them. That has to tell you that they just don't have the money to bankroll all these studios. And you know what? The sell out the complete company, that's one thing, right? But to sell off a couple IPs, I could see how that works because and even if they wanted to do a royalty, they could easily do a deal where, hey, we're going to sell you these IPs for a good price right up front. But if those IPs tend to, say, do massive business on your platform, so you guys sell like 5 million copies or something, it becomes a big hit. Well, then we get a certain percentage of that. And that would be a win-win. It would be a win for Konami because they'd keep their stock prices high and they'd be encouraged to, that side of the coin. But it'd be good for Microsoft because they would gain traction. They get more fans going to the Xbox ecosystem because of those games alone. It would piss off a lot of people on other platforms, unless Microsoft decided to make them multi-plats. But that would kind of defeat the whole purpose of them buying the IPs to begin with, if you ask me. Now, one of the things that would be perfect, could you imagine, Metal Gear not so much, but I could totally imagine this. I could imagine them doing Silent Hill as an episodic kind of deal where they put it on Game Pass. And boom,
Oh
you,
yeah,
you
definitely.
you get a big episode of Silent Hill, a couple hours long. Then you wait, you get the next episode, kind of like a Final Fantasy's doing with that one game, but you do it through Game Pass. Like Salty in the chat, what's going on, Salty? Like Konami's like making slot machines now. Like they are not the Konami. People say, well, Capcom's not the same or this person. No, Konami has fallen so
Yeah.
far. Konami's fallen so far from where they were. It's not even funny. Great Skull Zero's in the chat. Great Skull Zero, what's happening, man? He says no notifications. Skull Zero, I hate to break it to you, brother, but YouTube's been acting stupid. All the small channels right now are not getting notifications going out. Trust me, I've learned. I haven't been getting notifications for the stuff that I'm actually like subscribed to either. I actually have to go directly into somebody's channel and have to click on it and hope to God it's there live. It has not been working. So just keep that in mind, guys. YouTube is definitely working really wonky right now. Don't know why, but it is. So that's my take on it. I think it would make sense for both companies. Konami needs the cash. Microsoft could use the properties. And boy, if they put talented teams behind the properties, big things can happen. But that's always the question mark, right? Who do you get to make those games? And then you're going to have that section of the fan base going, well, they're going to screw up the franchise or they won't know how to make the game. And some people are just going to hate it because now it's on Xbox. That side is going to come out too, because we saw that with Hellblade. As soon as Hellblade went multi-plat, Hellblade all of a sudden kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Right? Hellblade was amazing until it went, oh, it's coming to Xbox. Oh, Hellblade. Who cares? Ninja Theory.
Right.
Who cares? Right? So yeah.
Who would you like to see take over those franchises though? That's already at Xbox Studios.
That is a good question. I honestly don't know. To be quite honest, if the coalition, for example, gets away from Gears.
Mm-hmm.
I could see the coalition being a fantastic team to do a game like Silent Hill.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because they know how to tell stories. They have a great graphics engine, and of course, Gears has got a little bit of that horror element too. Like not to the same degree, but I think guys like somebody talented like that could definitely do a good job with it. Who knows? Maybe even that team that they just bought for We Happy Few. You never know. They might have a knack for doing a great story. We don't really know. I haven't seen enough for them, right? But there is that people. What's the name of that studio?
Shit.
We Happy Few. I forget. But anyway, that's my take. Yeah, everybody's trying to stay sane in this lockdown. Guys, anybody going kind of crazy yet? Like, has anybody been ready to strangle their kids or their spouse? Or like, how's everybody doing out there? I want to know, what have you guys been doing at home, especially you guys in the chat? I'd like to hear what you've been up to outside of, say, games. I would like to hear other ideas that you've been doing to kill the time, because fuck, if you don't have video games, I don't know what the heck you're doing besides banging the misses and creating babies for next year.
Isn't that crazy though? If we had this shit happen like 30 plus years ago, what would everybody be doing?
Oh my god. We'd be all playing Twister and Cracker Jack.
Reading books. Spending time with family.
Books. we'd be on rolling VCR tapes right now. That's what we'd be doing.
Right?
Hey, get the movies going. The tracking is screwed up. Cyber works at a grocery store. Cyber, I feel bad for you, bro. But I want to thank you all the same, man, for hanging in there. And like I said, being on the front lines for people, and people take that for granted. But boy, I tell you, I hope people don't take grocery stores, delivery services, nurses, doctors, everything. I hope people after this shit's over won't take it for granted like we have. We owe a big,
give us a raise, please.
Give people a raise. Give them a raise.
Give us at least like minimum wage of like $15. I would appreciate that. That'd be awesome.
People look down their nose at a lot of these jobs because, they're not educated, blah, blah, blah. But boy, like I said, right now, it's the only thing keeping anything afloat. So, whoo, yeah. Cray says, me and mine's been grilling movies with gaming. Yeah, that's good shit, man. Good stuff, brother. You have the works, is Great Skull Zero. Anime Heaven's here? Oh, yes. Hey, Anime Heaven, what's going on? He wishes you a happy birthday. Any more thoughts on this whole Konami thing? Do you think, like I said, that this is legit, Avers?
I'd have to say it's probably not legit, though.
Well, speaking of Konami, though, Avers, what's your favorite Konami franchise of all? They've got quite a few.
Back in the day, it was Contra, I would say.
Okay.
Now, it's definitely Silent Hill, though, for sure.
Nice. Primal?
Fuck.
I don't remember making that game.
No, I remember doing Silent Hill for like the longest. Oh, Castlevania too. I liked Castlevania.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Shit, but it's been so long since I've been. Yeah, Konami needs to come back and have something.
Yeah.
That's difficult. Like the last Silent Hill I played was 3, even. Or what was the one with the 2 damn girls? Shit. I can't even remember.
They've had so many of them, I don't even know.
I might even be thinking of Fatal Frame. But no, I remember the Silent Hill, the first one. That was probably one of the games that I bought and returned the most. because that shit frightened me. It frightened me so bad. Yeah, no, I'll go with Silent Hill and Castlevania.
Matt Burns says Akari Warriors. Who else is going on here? Ninja Turtles. Yeah, the Teenage Ninja Turtle arcade game was published by Konami back then. That was a hell of a great game. I had it on the Sega Genesis at the time when the Hyperstone Heist, I think it was called, for the Genesis version. That was awesome. Yeah, they've had a lot of good games, man, especially their back catalog and stuff. But their franchises haven't been anywhere what we remember. Even their Castlevanias that they brought out the last few years have been somewhat decent. I think last month they gave away one of the Castlevania games on Xbox Live Gold, which was interesting if you think about that, guys. They're after giving away Metal Gear Solid's been a Games at Gold game, or not Metal Gear Solid, but was it Metal Gear Rising? They've given away, like I just said that one a second ago, Castlevania Shadows of the Moon, or what was it? I don't know, the Xbox 360 one, not the 2D stuff, right? One of the games that I really enjoyed back in the day, I don't know if anybody remembers it, guys, is one by Konami, and you had these little Jeeps. It was called Jackal. Anybody remember that one? I thought that game was awesome. You drove around these and it was co-op at the time. Two people could play it. You drove in these little Jeeps and you shot stuff. It was great, man. Two girls like wild things since Red Bull.
Shit, that's like immediate pool scene. Whenever I think of that, holy shit.
Back from the dead, he says he works for USPS delivering mail. Sucks me and tell people to stay 6 feet away from you and have a nice day. Yeah, man. Well, you take care of yourself out there, man. Wear like a hazmat suit if you got to, but yeah.
Yeah, hey, it's Alex crazy Basher out there. Fucking
Traffic God. Go ahead.
Sorry, go on. Well, no, I'm just saying it's just crazy to just be out there driving around. There's not a soul there. I'm like, even in my office, because I can't say exactly what I do, but I have a government job, and it's just like, it's so empty. It's so quiet. There's like nothing out there. It's like a fucking weird ass movie. And it's just, I don't know. I feel like
it's almost
like
an
episode of like Walking Dead or something.
All we need is a little bit more moss and stuff growing on the vehicles. It'd be like that fucking movie with Will Smith, I Am Legend. You know what I mean? Like, it's so quiet out there. Crazy. Yeah. When the sun goes down, I'm half expecting some crazy fuck to come out of it. Come after you. What's going on, Graphic God? Thanks for stopping in, brother. Thanks to be here. I know you can't stay, but I appreciate you stopping by to say hello. So you have a great night, my friend. And Nate is here. Alex Basha, what's up? Anime Heaven. Guys, thanks for being here. Yeah. There you go. Sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought. Anybody have anything else to add here?
Suikoden. Or Suikoden. Suikoden.
I think it's Suikoden.
Whatever, but I played them all. I'm trying to think in my head. Fucking yeah, no, Konami needs to come back with something.
Well, I think Konami might have had a hit with that. Remember that? What was it? That PT demo there for a while. That everybody was raving about. Like, if they had made a complete game on that, they might have actually had something there.
I heard that cost them quite a bit, so they kind of wanted to back off from that because they were getting a little too deep in it.
Yeah, that was a Kojima thing too, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he's notorious for racking up the bills on him.
Well, it had to be Kojima because at the end of that demo, or whatever the hell it was, Norman Reedus was in it. So they basically took him from there and pulled him over to Death Stranding. So
right,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there you go. I think I would have rather taken PT. At least he would have been walking around with the freaking fetus. But, to say Norman Reedus and his traveling fetus in the next episode. There you go. Anime Heaven says, Primal, join me in Newfound Gears 5 co-op. Yes, indeed. You'll have to come join us here soon. Kojima's spending that money. That's right. That's why they're broke now. Probably lawsuits and all the rest of that crap. So there you go. All right, let's get into the next topic as we move stuff right on. That's a juicy one, though. I wonder, like I said, I'll be keeping an eye on that and see where that goes. So here we go. We kind of started with this at the top of the show, guys. 5 games you recommend to anybody playing during the isolation. I would like for you to pick 3 recent and maybe pick 2 of your favorite old retro style games. Now, retro, I guess we were talking about this off the air. Like, I'd say anything from the N64 era on back would be kind of retro. 360, I don't think that's old enough yet to be retro, but anything beyond that, I would say you're pretty good to go. 20 years is pretty well retro at this point. So anybody want to start? Avers, did you have a chance to kind of go over your list? And these are ones, like I said, that you'd recommend to fans picking up now to go play.
Oh yeah. Well, definitely the three that I mentioned. I've been pretty heavily into those three games: Gears 5, Bless Unleashed, and Bleeding Edge for the past couple of weeks. So those are definitely my current ones. If you haven't played those yet, guys, give them a shot. Try them out for a couple hours at least. The new operation on Gears is pretty incredible from what I've experienced of it so far, and they've improved all the little mechanics quite a bit. All the weapon tuning that they do, the tuning they do for the PvE, the versus, the ranked. It's been pretty good. This is the best version of Gears they have ever done. So I would definitely give that a shot. If you're okay with doing something like Bleeding Edge, I know it can look a little cartoony. Some people think it's maybe not for them. Try out a couple games. You might get that bug and just get addicted to it like I did. End up spending, I don't know what I put into it, like 30 hours already, which is quite a bit considering that it just came out recently. And then the other one, Bless Unleashed. Go ahead.
My question for you at Bleeding Edge is how easy then is it for somebody to pick up and play? Because I've heard by various people already, and Salty in the chat, I know he didn't like it too much. Like how easy for just an individual to pick it up, play it, or do you need a really good team?
It is not easy if you are an individual just going in alone, for sure. You're going to get destroyed pretty much 9 times out of 10. You do need a good team, or you need to be a good healer. If you're a good healer and you have a crappy team, you can keep your team alive and give yourself a chance. You're probably still going to lose if there's not communication going on, though. So yeah, I would recommend that. If I'm online and anybody sees me, I will definitely jump in to help out anytime. If you guys want to try it out, same thing here.
Cool.
I'm a pretty good healer, and I've got a couple other good characters that can hold their own. So yeah, I mean, it is very tough. If you don't have skills where your Twitch abilities are not, up to par, then it's the same type of thing. If you're not able to react incredibly fast, you're also going to have a very tough time with that. So that's definitely a factor. If you're focused more, like if you're a type of gamer where you are playing games for the story, where you like going through the campaign more than anything, I would say probably not going to be the game for you.
Right.
But if you're into games as a service, if you're into stuff like the Gears Online, Halo, any of those types of games, give it a shot. I think you can probably hold your own on that. So yeah, it is tough. You're definitely right about that.
Awesome.
And then on my retro games, I got to go way back. Galaga. You guys remember Galaga?
Yeah, yes, indeed.
That one, yeah. I mean, I racked up quite a few hours back on the NES. I was a kid. I think I was a little too short to play it when it was in arcades. So I didn't get a chance to play it then, but I remember my older brothers playing it. So as soon as they got me an NES years later, that was the first game I asked for, and we used to play that for hours. The other one's a really tough one, Ghosts and Goblins. That was a really challenging game back in the day. Still, to this day, you'll probably break your controllers on that one. So those are two I'd recommend.
Yeah, I like the newer versions a bit better. Ghouls and Ghosts on Genesis, and I think it was Super Ghouls and Ghosts on Super Nintendo.
Those were a little easier, a little more forgiving. They had a double jump that helped quite a bit.
Yes, that is true. Yes, indeed. Let's catch up with some of the chat before we hand it over to Primal. We've got Burger Time Parties is Born Distracted. Valorian, thanks for stopping here. I don't know if you're still in the chat, but if you're not, thanks for being here. Squirrely Dad, what's going on, brother? But he says Burger Time Farties. Well, after I eat burgers, I have to have farties. Anime Heaven, Fantasy Star Online 2, Lost Odyssey, Star Wars Fallen Order, HR Bomber, AC Odyssey, Mario 64, COD Modern Warfare with Warzone, Bleeding Edge with Friends, Zelda Ocarina of Time. Great choices right there.
Yes, you guys are stealing some of my choices.
Yeah, there we go. Well, I'm just going to comment on that Bleeding Edge. I will say I do like the art style. Some people that's what they're bitching about, is the art style, but I actually like it. I think it's really cool. I like the character designs, but the game, just right from the first time I saw a trailer of that game when it was launched at E3 a couple of years ago, I was like, I don't think I'm going to like it. All I keep getting is it's an Overwatch brawler, and it just doesn't appeal to me. It's something I might try down the road, but right now it is definitely not high on my radar, and I don't have Game Pass, so I'm not going to go dumping any big bucks on that. I don't think it's a full price game, but even still, like, it's a multiplayer only, and those are always, for me, that's always skeptical. Add like a single player thing to it, I might be like, okay, but multiplayer only stuff is a no-go usually with new. So yeah. Got Back from the Dead, Destiny 2, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Zelda Ocarina of Time, N64 GoldenEye, Super Mario Bros. 3. Some great choices right there. All right. Primal, how about yourself?
See, this is fucked up because I could do way more than 5. I can't just stick with 5. Retro games, of course. You got the
We're
Mario.
talking about games, right?
You got the man. You threw the fuck. You just threw me off. Just got words coming out. Oh, I found a new word that I don't like today. I know last week I said that I don't like intercourse, like the word.
Right.
My second word that I don't like is genitals. I don't like that word. It bothers me. But anyway,
how do you feel about the word moist?
Moist?
Moist.
I think everybody knows how I feel about moist. It's probably one of my favorite words, next to fuck, and I think twat might be up there too. But
twat is funny.
Anyway, as far as games, yes, the Marios and the Zeldas, they're must plays, especially like for me, Ocarina of Time, A Link to the Past, Link's Awakening. Super Mario 64 was my shit for the longest time. Diddy Kong Racing, like I was really into the N64 and SNES, NES, just Nintendo for the longest time. And then I upgraded to the PlayStation, and see, that's why I absolutely love the Final Fantasies, the Tales games, Shadow Hearts. I can go on and on and on. I absolutely love my RPGs. So this is really a hard question for me. I can't pick anything specific except for Witcher 3. If you haven't played, Witcher 3, noof. I know you have to finish it. That's an amazing game. The Gears series, obviously, even though I'm retiring myself here. So if you guys want to play Gears with me, you got to catch me soon before I remove it.
Wait, why are you retiring yourself?
I've put in my entire life has been Gears of War, and this last one, as far as multiplayer, I'm just done and over it. I've put in thousands of hours. I've done plenty of tournaments. I'm just over it. I think
burned out.
I can't keep up with these new kids playing Gears 5 and all this new shit. I just can't do it. I'm old school, I guess. Or I've become old school. Some other good games. I really like A Plague's Tale.
I want to get that one.
And then, or A Plague Tale, and then A Plague's Tale. I don't know. As far as like new games, they're still like, I was talking about this to a buddy of mine the other day, and I can't find anything that's seriously blown me away. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm playing the wrong things. Like, I know I took a look at a list of topics that we have tonight, and a certain game is going to come up that I have absolutely no interest in, and I've tried playing it 3 times. But we'll talk about that if we bring it up later. I won't do it now. I don't know, Noof.
Blown away this generation. The 2 games that I can honestly say actually blew me away, like from the moment I played them and graphically and stuff, was probably Rise when it came out for the Xbox One, and then God of War for the PS4. Like, that game is just stunning, just incredible. Those games kind of made my jaw drop and just like wow, and everything else. But anyway, getting off topic. But yeah.
Well, no, it's not. I can put it. But those are the kind of games that I would recommend to somebody to play, because I'd want their jaw to drop too. Like, out of all the Final Fantasies, Final Fantasy X probably. Actually, no, Final Fantasy VIII, the opening to that.
Yeah.
Oh, the Kingdom Hearts collection. I can't say no to that. Now that it's on now that it's available on Xbox, it's definitely something I suggest to play. Just because Disney's in it, it does not mean that it's a kid's game. If you're a Final Fantasy fan, you definitely want to play it.
It's fun.
Yeah, no, it is. And
I thought you would have said maybe Monster Hunter World as well.
Oh yeah, see, but I overplayed that one too, and I would definitely recommend that because it's also a fun like multiplayer co-op game. And then of course Apex if you're gonna play a multiplayer game, because that's my shit right now.
All right. Well, you might want to talk to Squirrely Dan in the chat, because Squirrely loves Apex, and outside of you, I see Squirrely on that damn game all the time. So he loves Apex. So you guys may have the hookup for some multiplayer in that one.
And honestly, I could ramble about games all damn day. This is why this is a hard question. So I'm just gonna shut my mouth, open it for when it's necessary.
Doggy Dog.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 2 on the SNES was my favorite. There you go. Dre, hey, we got Jago Kukin is in the chat. He's Plague's Tale was awesome. Thanks for stopping by, Jago. Greatly appreciate it, bro. I know it's getting late in your neck of the woods, all that good stuff, but greatly appreciate that you're here. Draven Arrow is in the chat as well. What's going on, Draven Arrow? Who did I also miss? DJ Birdo, what's happening, dude? Greatly appreciate it. Glad you could make it out. Like I said, we are doing good, and our guest tonight is Avers G4G. Having a good time on this show so far. It's Primal's birthday for those of you who did not know.
Yes.
So there you go.
I'm a ripe old 32.
A ripe old 32. Wow.
Yeah.
So you're just young, and I got. I'm going to be 44 in July. Damn.
Oh my God. No, just kidding.
I'm careful. I don't move too fast because I get too much dust all over the place. I think it's dust. Unless it's dried up jizz, but I don't know. All righty. Well, for me, guys, here's a list. You might be a little bit shocked with my list, but I decided to pick a little bit of a different. These are not necessarily games that are like my all-time favorites or blah blah blah, but I think these are the games you could have a lot of fun with if you're looking to kill some time for the next couple of weeks or whatever, how long this might drag up. So with my newer games, I picked one from each console, since I know a lot of people in this chat as well are multi-console owners or they own one or the other. So I went with Gears 5 for Xbox. I mean, I cannot pick games without having at least one Gears on my list. Because Gears 5 is the newest. They got some great new DLC right now. I said Gears 5, go play the shit out of that. It said co-op, multiplayer. It's got everything. If you got a Switch right now, obviously the new hotness is Animal Crossing. It seems like everybody and their grandmothers are actually playing this game. I've seen so many people tweeting about it and showing pictures. And one cool little thing about it, which I haven't experienced yet, is I guess you can go to other people's islands and you can mingle and get cool stuff and whatever, right? So it's basically like a cutesy tootsy version of The Sims mixed with Minecraft. It's kind of odd little things. My first ever Animal Crossing game, but I'm actually enjoying it. Spider-Man for the PS4. Yeah, it might be a year old or so, but that game is incredible. Like, that game's a lot of fun. Now, I could have easily said God of War, but the reason I'm saying Spider-Man, because there is a lot of things that you can do, and I just find, they're both amazing games in their own right. Spider-Man is kind of more of the fun game, right? You kind of mess around with it a little bit more. It's not as taxing as God of War. God of War's got the leveling up and different things. So I'm going to say Spider-Man if you have a PS4. Now, two of the retro games I'm going to pick, I'm going back to the Genesis days here, because Genesis was a big time waster for me. And the first one I'm going to pick is NHL 94, because right now I'm having a massive NHL withdrawal with no sports. Really, really freaking sucks. I don't know if anybody else is having that right now, but it really, really sucks. So NHL 94, it's one of those timeless classics that you can play over and over and over again. And, I'd love to pick that up with a controller to go shoot some pucks around, that sort of stuff. A lot of fun. And second of all, I'm going to say the game that really, it wasn't the game that made me want a Genesis, but it's the kind of game that made sort of the Genesis what it is today. And that's Sonic the Hedgehog, the original game. There's very few games out there like it. It's just amazing. It still looks good even by today's standards. Sonic the Hedgehog, it plays good. It looks good. Great soundtrack. I love the original Sonic, man. So that would definitely be it right there. So
shit.
Yeah, so I went right back on the retro right there.
Mm-hmm.
Genesis Gunstar Heroes, Thunder Force 3, great picks right there. Cyber Gunner says Control is just $23.99 on PSN right now. Well, that kind of sucks. It's not. I want Xbox Live, man. Then again, it is digital. I can't stand buying shit digitally, but whatever. New Sonic movie, Xbox One. Yes, I want that too. That looks so good. I don't know if you guys saw that Xbox is giving away a Sonic the Hedgehog movie, Xbox One X, and it looks freaking phenomenal. Go check it out. Sorry, go ahead, Primal.
Well, no, because I totally was just like, I have more games. Well, no, I was thinking about PlayStation because I went from Nintendo, I went from PlayStation to Xbox. I didn't go back to play other PlayStation.
Right.
All the Persona games, and also fucking, I know you call them walking simulators, but the Telltale games and fucking Detroit. Mm-hmm. Become Human was like absolutely fucking blew my mind. I listened to the soundtrack on the daily to work because that's what I do. I listen to video game soundtracks all day.
Cool.
All right, no, keep on. I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut and I'll keep these. I'll make a list or something. Primal Eve's favorite playlist or something.
Since we're talking retro things, one of the biggest disappointments that's already come down the pipe due to this virus that's out in the go.
Oh,
I'm not
sure.
even sure. Is the TurboGrafx 16 Mini was delayed, and I don't know when it's supposed to show up over here. But I was actually excited. I was thinking I want to pick up a TurboGrafx Mini because then my 16-bit collection will be complete. I'll have the Genesis, the Super Nintendo, and the TurboGrafx. So I definitely want to pick one of those up if and when they're out. I don't know if anybody. I don't think they've come out yet. They were supposed to come out March 20th. So I don't know how far they're delayed. I've assumed their assembly lines are pretty much shut down. So I'm thinking probably a couple of months for sure. So I don't know. But I definitely want a TurboGrafx 16. It was the one 16-bit console I never did own because I was a Genesis guy more than anything. So yeah, I definitely want to pick that up when it comes out. So there you have it. Yeah. So we're going to kind of segue into my next topic here. My next topic here, guys, is going to kind of segue off of this about cancellations and stuff. No, I'll actually probably, yeah, I'm gonna go to this topic since we're kind of segueing into it, and that is: do you think the big movie cinema chains should release movies on a streaming service to make up for the closed theaters? Right now, I know a lot of people would love to go to a theater and watch a movie with all this time off and stuff like that, right? But I think personally, why not? Like my thought is, why not take your big movies instead of delaying them and postponing them? If they're made and they're produced and they're ready to go, why not just put them out on the big streaming services and stuff like that?
Yeah, especially like Disney.
You pay a premium for them, sure. Like I'd be willing to pay like $20 if it's a new movie or something like that.
Oh yeah, well, they've done that. You know, you've got quite a few of them that were that were supposed to be in theaters on the Xbox Video app right now for $19.99. You can rent them. You can't own them yet, but you can rent them.
I know that. Okay. I know that you can right now. They had the Sonic movie came out on Xbox today, and as well as Bloodshot with Vin Diesel. It's on the Xbox store. You can buy them.
Bloodshot, yeah, you can buy Bloodshot. But there's The Hunt, which was pretty good. I rented that one the other day. Definitely recommend that. There's Emma and Invisible Man, I believe, is the other one. There's a couple other ones.
Okay, that's good. Like, because right now, think of the opportunity. You've got millions of people around the world just sitting at home doing nothing. You'd actually probably get more people doing that than you would with the movie theater, right?
Yeah, no, I agree, definitely.
So obviously, you got my opinion on it. I say they should do it. I say bring them out. Obviously, producing movies is a big thing. I notice a lot of movies delayed now. Ghostbusters is delayed. James Bond's going to be delayed. A whole bunch are going to be delayed. But yeah, Primal.
Yes.
Yeah, what's your take on that?
No, I think it's definitely a great idea. There are a couple Disney movies that my daughter and myself were looking forward to, like Mulan, was something I really wanted to see because it's probably one of my favorite Disney ones. Yep. But I think because of our situation, and if they still want to have some type of revenue or anything to get these movies out there, this is going to be their best option, and this may even turn into something even bigger. If this ends up being like a permanent thing, everybody's kind of lazy. Okay. We all like the convenience of being able to do stuff from home. Why not do this as well? So
I totally agree. I think it's a great idea. Obviously the chat also says pretty much the same. They're on with that. So yeah, that's crazy. Bloodshot just came out and already you can go and buy it. I'm almost tempted to buy it. I actually did buy the Sonic movie today. I was going to buy it anyway, but I think it probably wasn't going to be out for another couple of weeks on DVD Blu-ray. So there you go. I'm buying it ahead of schedule. I have the Canadian prices. So right here, right now, the HD version is $24.99. The UHD version is $29.99. So US, I think that's like, I think you guys would pay $17.99, $18.99 for the UHD.
$19.99 probably sounds right.
Probably $19.99, yeah, for the UHD or for the HD version at least. So I bought the HD version. So
that's like, think about how much you have to pay to go to the theater anyway. So it's really
I had to pay $14. I had $6 in credit. I think that's what I paid was like $19. So yeah, that's like $5 more than I would have paid to go to the theater to watch
without food.
Right on, exactly. So yeah, so that's crazy, but And we see like Netflix is always bringing a lot of stuff directly to their studio too, which is pretty cool. Like all these movies that are getting nominated and stuff, they go directly to their service, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, it's never been a better time if you're a streaming person, that's for sure. With Disney out there now, and Hulu and Netflix, and everybody having these services. There's a lot of great content, a lot of great shows out there. HBO, you name it. There's so much to watch. I can't even keep up with it anymore. I go to Netflix. It seems like there's like 20 new shows every time I open up the menu. It's like, what the hell is this? So I don't know where to get in the budget for it all, but
right,
crazy.
Yeah, they're going into debt.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say if they keep making shows, they're gonna run awful debts because almost every show on Netflix now is run and produced by Netflix. It's like nuts.
Okay.
But we also see a lot of those get canned after like 1 or 2 seasons too. So there's a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah, there's like a 3-season curse on Netflix. They never seem to make it past 3 seasons.
Yeah, no, well, except for Stranger Things. That's one of the biggest shows, period, to come out in the last few years. That's already started on season 4 now. Which that got delayed too. That was supposed to come out, I think later on this year, but that's been pushed possibly into 2021 now, according to the actor that plays the cop there. So he said things are delayed. And he is alive, by the way, if you didn't see the teaser trailer for the series 4. He's in Russia, apparently. He's like the teaser for season 4. He's like the camera zooms in and it's like Russia, and he's like in one of those work camps, and he's got like the pick and axe or whatever. It's like, so at least he's alive.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen the teaser?
No, the teaser. Yeah.
Have you watched the show though?
Yeah, I've seen the show.
Cool, nice. Yeah, I like Stranger Things a lot. Altered Carbon's a good one. Cyber Gunter mentioned. I haven't watched the second season, but the first season was pretty dope. So yeah, cool. All right. So that was a pretty easy, heated, heavy. What's going on, man? Thanks for being here. Who else did we miss in the chat? Jay Slayer. Jay is hanging out with us tonight. Anime Heaven is here. Jago, Born Distracted. Did I miss anybody? Spider-Man's still hanging out with us. Let's get back into the next. Okay, so Outer Worlds, that's coming out for the Switch June 5th. Does anybody care? Has anybody played it? Does anybody want to play it? And what do you think of it coming to the Switch? It is still on schedule. Primal?
So this was the title I was talking about earlier about I tried 3 times to get into it. Everyone's like, oh, if you like Fallout, you're gonna love this. Like, I love Fallout. And I tried and I tried and I tried. I don't know if it was because of the funk I was in when I tried or not, but I just couldn't get into it for some reason. I'm really happy that other people enjoyed it and it was a big hit for them, but I really don't care. To be honest, I tried. I gave it a really good try.
That's all you can do is try. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Hell, I tried fucking FedEx Simulator. What the fuck is it called? Death Stranding. I played 3 hours of that, and I was like, yeah, enough of this tipping over with boxes bullshit. And yeah. Avers, how about yourself, man? Outer Worlds, you play it? What do you think of it coming to the Switch?
Yeah, definitely on Xbox, and this is definitely a good thing for Switch-only people. But if you have an Xbox, obviously, you don't want to play it there. It's going to play better and probably look a lot better on X than it's going to be on the Switch. But yeah, I mean, it's a good thing for that developer. They definitely want to get their games into more gamers' hands while they still can. If they're going to go completely exclusive in the future to Microsoft platforms, which is what I've heard a couple times. I don't know if that's been confirmed that's gonna happen. I think that's smart for the first few years of the next generation. But yeah, if they can get this into Switch owners' hands, there's quite a few Switches out there, and those guys buy a ton of games for that platform. So this is going to help them quite a bit. I'd say it's a good thing all around.
Well, I think the biggest reason to get Outer Worlds on the Switch, if you don't already have it on the PS4 or the Xbox, is simply because it's a new IP out for the Switch. And what I mean by that is, like, we've seen a lot of games coming to Switch over the last little while, and they continue to come out. But a lot of the games coming to Switch right now, I've noticed there's a trend. They're old Xbox 360s and PS3 games that are getting remade, reworked, and they're coming over. It's like, I'm done with those games. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine to have 1 or 2, but we're getting a lot of them. We're getting a lot of old Xbox One, early PS4 titles as well.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But I want more new IPs on the Switch. I want new games I'm not familiar with. And that's a great void to fill on the Switch because they don't have a lot of games that are like the Outer Worlds, right? So
I'm going to get worse. the next couple of years, you're going to see less and less as the Switch gets left behind with these new consoles coming out. So yeah, they got to get in where they can.
No, I agree with you.
Nintendo's going to pull something magical out of their ass and steal everybody. So I wouldn't be too worried about them.
It's funny you mention that because they did pull something magic out of their ass today. Did you not hear the 35th anniversary of Mario? They're making 5 Mario remakes for the Switch.
Yeah.
So as far as I know, I think it's the 2 Mario Galaxy games. It's Mario Sunshine, Mario 64, and I'm not sure what the other one is. They're making a Super Mario. It's actually going to be there's one new one, and they're making a new Paper Mario RPG. So that's cool. Five new Mario games, 4 of them being remakes.
Are they all separate, or are they going to be like a bundle?
We don't know that yet, but they are making them remakes. I hope that they're separate, and I hope they're reasonably priced. But you know what? I won't hold my breath with Nintendo because they overprice everything. I wouldn't be surprised if they charge you the full $80 freaking bucks for the old games. They got
and you know what? It's not going to stop anybody from buying it.
You're totally right. They will still sell like hotcakes, and they'll be on the top sellers list because whatever the hell it is with Nintendo, those guys got a license to print money. I'll never understand it. I say kudos to them, but I fucking can't understand it. I just don't know how they pull it off.
Right.
I don't know. Paper Mario come with the cardboard Switch Pro. Yeah, they'll probably throw in a free Labo set with that fucking thing. Oh man. BioShock Collection May 29th. Yes, that one's coming out for the Switch. Some 2K games coming out. BioShock and Borderlands coming out for the Switch. Primal, did you catch that?
That's pretty cool. I like that. I'll support that. I need a Switch.
Yeah. Your Borderlands on the go. You can get a good look at Moxie and that little 4.5 inch screen.
Right?
Huh?
Go on my 10-minute break real quick.
So cool stuff, guys. Thought I would drop that in there. I mean, I think it's cool by Nintendo to bring back. If I'm not going to buy any one of those games, I will tell you I will buy the Mario 64 just because I have so fond memories of that game on the N64. And if they remaster it, especially if they make all new graphics for it, I'm sold. If it's just like an HD version of the old game, I might be a little bit more like they did with Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask for 3DS, where they just upgrade. And that's what I'm thinking it'll be. Like a high-res version with maybe smoother textures, but outside of that, not really that much different. So that's what I'm thinking. Because Nintendo, that's the way they go, right? They really don't overhaul too much these days. Well, they did that in Zelda one, though. That completely had a different coat of paint.
That Link 3D one? Ocarina?
No, the Link's Awakening.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Link's Awakening. That
would was completely made from the ground up, like whole new engine.
That would be if they did that with Mario 64. I'd have to find somebody to blow for a Switch like immediately.
Hey, you guys, you all heard that in the chat, right? If you're in the New York area. Oh man, yeah. Well, apparently, here's a weird story from this whole virus outbreak shit's going on. Apparently, the cops were called here last night at a 7-Eleven in Edmonton. Some girl went into the 7-Eleven, stripped off all her clothes, and was trying to sell her panties to somebody.
Jesus, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I'll sell you my panties for a roll of toilet paper.
Do you know how many? No, there are like a shit ton of videos of girls fucking blowing dudes for toilet paper. Like Jesus. That's so crazy.
Well, I'm grabbing what we got left now, and I'm heading I'm even married. I'll still have that side.
Yeah, she'll understand.
Where you going all that toilet paper? I don't know, baby, but it blows. Oh man, Spider-Man's like, what? Spider-Man's like, Spider-Man's going around his house right now as he speaks. Where's the toilet paper?
Just trying to get some tissues together, hoping it's enough.
Oh fuck, that would be so funny. Just start walking up to random people staying 6 feet apart. I heard you giving some head for these things. And if they bitch at you, just toss it at them. Well, that's shit. Oh man. I told you this is going to be a warp. Have we changed your mind here, Avers?
Oh no,
Avers like, what the fuck podcast did I come on here? What the hell is this? Woo, let's get into the next topic. From chairs to steering wheels, controllers, and more, what is the best game accessory you have ever bought? What is the worst? And what is one maybe you'd like to see come back more of in the future? I know it's a tough question, kind of a three-parter. Best video game accessory you have ever owned. I mean, pretty much all of us at one point in time bought something for our console, whether it was a, what do you call it, the Kinect, or you bought, and there goes fucking Primal again. She didn't even make it to her thing. Oh my God. Hopefully she comes back, guys. Ah, there we go. So Avers, looks like it's me and you, buddy, carrying the show unless you can get back here.
No, man, it's fine. Yeah, definitely.
All right. So how about yourself, man? Do you ever own a really cool peripheral for any of your consoles?
Yeah, I mean, right now the Elite Series 2, that's got to be the best one. I mean, if that counts, right, as controller.
Yeah, that is an accessory. Yep.
Yeah. The other thing, it's not really a peripheral. It's the Virtual Boy. I don't know if you remember that.
Okay. Yeah.
That was pretty cool. I mean, it wasn't really an add-on. It was kind of its own little device.
Right.
Kind of mess up your vision and make you be able to see. I don't remember if it made you see tons of red afterwards or you couldn't see red, but I do remember it would fuck up your vision pretty bad for at least an hour after you were done with it. But yeah, the Elite Series 2 has been a godsend for me. It's really helped my game quite a bit with some of these Twitch titles, like I was talking about Gears earlier. It actually, believe it or not, people are gonna think I'm making this up. I was actually able to rank up to Onyx for the first time on Gears. As shortly after I got that, I did tweak my settings a little bit, so that helped quite a bit. But yeah, man, that's been pretty good. What about you?
Yeah, man. Well, I'd say my best peripheral overall, I'm gonna say it's the PSVR. Because nothing that I've played yet, at least in the console world. Okay, I know there's better VRs out there, and people always put that in my face. But nothing that I've ever played that was an accessory for a console made me feel the same way that VR made me feel. Like literally feeling in those worlds, feeling that immersion like no other game before. You play a game like Resident Evil. Do you play that one like the one with the little robot, Astrobot? Like I've never played a third-person game that felt so cool when you play it in VR. Like it literally feels like you're like a marionette puppet master, and you're looking down at the whole world. It's just amazing. It has to be played and experienced. Even a game like Moss was so cool. Like literally getting down, like moving your head towards the camera or towards the screen, and you can like literally get up as if that the mouse was real, almost smell the guy. You know what I mean? Like the immersion is second to none. There's nothing out there like it. So I'm going to say VR because, again, even you play that Batman Arkham game, that's not the best VR game on the planet, but there's something really cool about feeling like you're inside the suit and like having your own head turn to view the camera instead of you doing it with a controller. You know what I mean? It's great.
Can I ask you what your top 3 PSVR games would be?
My top PSVR games, Astrobot would definitely be one of them. That game was absolutely phenomenal. I really liked, be quite honest with you, it was the London Heist that came out in sort of that multi-disc game. It was short. It was probably only took you about 20 minutes to beat it, but that was amazing. And they did have one after that, Blood or Truth. And while Blood and Truth looked head and shoulders better than the London Heist, I didn't like the control scheme they had set up. It was kind of too much like a point and click, where you point, you look at a thing. I don't like that when you do this. Press the button, look at something, and press. Like I want to walk there, like kind of like my controller. You can't literally walk, but you know what I'm saying? I like free flow controls in the games. I don't like this move where you look at something and move because it was janky and freaking weird. But yeah, that and God, what was the other one? Well, like even the golf was amazing. I think it was Everybody's Golf VR. That was so cool. There's a lot of different ones that I had that were just absolutely amazing. So
how was that Star Trek game?
Star Trek was really cool. Definitely, you got some buddies. I know me and Jago played the Star Trek. That was a damn good laugh. I know me and Jago Mooch one time, I think it was playing the Star Trek, and it was hilarious, man. That's a good laugh. It's a bit of a complex game to learn because there's a lot of maneuvering. Like you have to pick a position and you can only do certain things. But once you get the gist of it and everybody, like the teamwork that it requires to fly the Enterprise, that was amazing. There's a lot of cool stuff. That Firewall game, that's another one that's fantastic. Like playing like a first person shooter with that game is nuts, man. It's just the immersion and going around the corners and stuff. It's not like playing any other game. It's so cool. So PSVR, one of the worst I think that I've ever owned was it wasn't really bad. It wasn't a bad for it, but I guess it was just one of those that I never used it very much, so it turned out to be a waste of money, and that was the steering wheel. I remember I bought the 360 wheel. I don't know who made it at the time. It was actually Sorry?
Rough Master?
No, it wasn't a Thrustmaster. I think it was the Xbox one, the one that Microsoft made.
Okay.
It was a first person, and it was a really nice wheel. Like, it was well made. I'll give it that. It was well made, but like, I played it and bought it really to play. I think it was at the time it was Forza 3 or Forza 4, and it was really cool. But at the same time, it was one of those things. It wasn't very practical, like pulling it out to use it, and and again, because it's a racing game, you're kind of just using it with one game. So it's just one of those things I felt like I paid too much money on and didn't use it very much at all. Farpoint was fantastic. Jay Slayer Jay, thanks for that. That was awesome. I beat that game. That was nuts. If you got a PSVR, definitely buy that one. Farpoint is really good. Dreadbull says Connect 2.0. Game Gear TV Tuner in the chat. That was pretty cool. Yeah, some people picked that one out. What does Cletus think about all the crap that's going on in the world? So yeah, the TV Born Distracted and TV tuners. Well, yeah, that was a really cool thing for the Game Gear back in the day. You stuck that on the. I never did have the Game Gear or the TV tuner, but I saw people with it, and that was pretty cool. Like back in the day, being able to watch TV on your little Game Gear seems like pretty pretty weird stuff to say that in today's world. We got tablets and phones, but back in the day, man,
I
that
remember
was
that.
the bomb. Yeah.
No, it was pretty cool. It was definitely a novel idea back then for sure.
And if there's one accessory I want to see come back so bad, because they were one of my favorite arcade game experiences ever, it's the light gun games.
Oh,
Back in the day, the Super, or was it back in the day, they were big for the Sega Master System and the NES, and a little bit on the Super Nintendo had the Super Scope. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Those games never took off for some weird reason. I don't know what it was. But I like those games. Apparently, there's one out now that you can buy for the Xbox and the PS4 that has a gun. And apparently, because the TVs apparently don't work with sort of the old style guns that we used to have, apparently this one, I guess, bounces the signal off of there's a sensor, so it's kind of working like a Kinect kind of deal. That works. I forget what it's called, but you can buy it for the Xbox One. Is that the one you got, Matt? You got a light gun for the Xbox One? There's one that just came out, like, I think it was like late last year. Yeah, it would have been cool, man. I love light gun games. They're awesome. I remember in the arcade, you played Big Buck Hunter and Terminator and all those cool games.
Oh yeah, like the Halo one that's out right now. Pretty good.
Virtua Cop was the best. How about yourself, Avers, in terms of something you'd like to see come back?
Something I'd like to see come back. We're talking about peripherals or franchises or what?
Well, peripherals most importantly, I guess. If you can even think of anything.
No, I can't really think of too much from the past that I'm hankering for right now. I feel like we've kind of got it covered with everything that's on the board. It's on the table at the moment. So it's pretty good at the moment.
Okay. Well, franchises then.
Franchises. You're gonna think this is a little silly, but Blood Rain. Do you remember Blood Rain?
I do. Yes, they made movies about it.
I was a huge fan of Blood Rain back in the day when it first came out. I liked that type of that vampire, kind of like a dark. It was pretty bloody. It was pretty gory. At the time, it was pretty out there. I don't know if they get away with doing that these days. So I imagine it probably wouldn't. It'd have to be like censored, or they would have to tone down like how sexual she was and that type of thing. But I really dug that stuff back in the day. I remember, I think it was Laura Bailey that was voicing her back in the day, and she did a damn good job as that character. So I'd like to see that one come back. They're bringing back another one that had vampires, the Vampire the Masquerade. That's another big one. That sequel should be out sometime in the next year. So yeah, those would be cool.
Yeah, it would be very cool. I did play one of those Blood Rain games, and it wasn't too bad. I never did finish either one. I know a lot of people have said they'd like to see Legacy of Kain come back. I've heard that one numerous times over the years. Honestly, I'd like to see. I would love to see. I took Darko's right out of his mouth there, Legacy of Kain. Honestly, I would almost like to see him make a sequel to the Mad Max game that came out a few years ago. That was pretty damn good. We saw some franchises come back too that should have stayed buried, like Bubsy the Bobcat. They made a game that came out last year. I think it was on the PS4. It's like a 2D side scroller, but again, it wasn't very good. Sometimes some things are better left unburied. If you're going to bring something back, you bring it back better. You don't bring it back and just kind of just hope to make a quick cash grab. So, yeah. Darko has, I have the Sega 6-button Bluetooth controller for his PC. Some people brought up the Power Glove in the chat. Doggy Doug brought that up earlier, the Power Glove. Yeah, that was quite something. I mean, everybody wanted that back in the day. I remember how bad I wanted one of those, but I'm glad I didn't buy it because I heard it was a big waste of money. It didn't work the way it was advertised. No, it didn't work the way it was advertised. It just looked a lot cooler than it was. Like, I got the Power Glove. Now you're playing with power. You know, I bet you a lot of people jerked off with that fucking thing.
Oh, man. Do you remember? Do you remember that movie with Fred Savage where they brought the Power Glove out?
The Wizard.
The Wizard. That was an awesome movie.
Yeah. Then when the guy comes in and he makes that big scene, I've got the Power Glove. They turning it and you're like, oh my God. That movie was almost like a big old Nintendo ad, literally.
I was.
Yeah, they're just advertising all that shit back in the day. Mario 3, obviously, because that was the first time we had seen the game Mario 3 was in that movie before it released. So
yeah,
Freddy Krueger used it. Did he actually use it? That'd be funny. Freddy Krueger had on the Power Gloves. Like, yeah, now you're playing with power. I think he did in one of the movies, didn't he, or no?
I don't recall that. No.
Can we donate TP in the super chats? That would be funny. Get a roll of TP shows up on my door. I hope Primal comes back, man, because we're almost at Primal's question of the night. She never makes it to the end. I said this to her off the air to her neighbors. I said, if your friggin' internet crashes on you again, like you need to get a refund or some shit, because like almost like clockwork, it gets like an hour into the show and it, like what the hell?
Yeah, that's super weird.
Does her favorite porn movie come on or something? She takes off or what? Oh, he did. Yes, I think he did because I remember Freddy something like, "No, you're playing with power" or whatever the fuck it was. Yeah, I think it was like it had to be one of the later Freddys, like Freddy 3 or 4, wasn't it? So you have the Mars light gun game. You talking about the one for PSVR? Yeah. So anyway, I think he's talking about that new Xbox one that came out. There's like I said, there is this new this gun game that you can buy for the Xbox. Comes with a little sensor and this almost like a little plastic handgun. But I forget, like it wasn't like a big. I think you had to order it online. I didn't see it in any stores anywhere. So yeah. You know, people would buy the Power Glove today if it looked like the Infinity Gauntlet. Yeah, they probably would. The Infinity Gauntlet Power Glove, yeah, for PlayStation or some shit like that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's true. People probably would buy it. Let me just check in on the message. I want to see if Primal. Okay, she sent me a message, but I'm going to send her back and see if she can get back. Can you get back on? She's obviously got some sort of internet if she's able, unless she's on her phone because she sent me a message. Okay. All right, let's do this. Vibrator batteries died. Amazon has it. Yes, okay. So let's get into a couple more questions before we end the show here. So, how about Modern Warfare 2? That came out, I think, today for the PlayStation 4, the remastered edition. The campaign and the game comes out for the Xbox One in a month's time. So first of all, what's your thought on the game? Did you like the original? What do you think of the remake coming out? What do you think of the whole month exclusivity kind of deal? And it is actually priced decently this time. The last time they made the first Modern Warfare, I think they priced it at like a full price game, or it wasn't far off. This time it's actually priced at, I think, 20 US, like $30 Canadian. So what's your take on this?
I'll give them kudos for pricing it appropriately. I do remember having some fun with it back in the day. I am not a big Call of Duty player, however, so Call of Duty is not really my thing. I know I'm on the outside with that one. Most people tend to disagree. They like Call of Duty quite a bit, but it's not really my thing anymore. I definitely liked it when I was younger. And then the exclusivity thing that you mentioned, that's so it's got, what is it, a month?
Yeah, it comes out end of April for Xbox.
I mean, I'm sure they took a nice payday on that to continue to do that, but I just can't see it being worth it to continue to do that, to hold it away from other gamers like that on other platforms that don't want to drop, $300-400, however much it's going to cost. If they're doing this next gen and those boxes are close to the prices we've been hearing about, $500-600, and they're still doing stuff like that, I can't back companies that do that, man. There's plenty of games out there for me right now that I could be playing. So I'm not going to pick it up for that type of thing if they're holding away from people. So me personally, I'd have to pass on it. But I mean, how do you feel about it?
Well, I like Call of Duty, but honestly, I'm kind of done with those games. I mean, first of all, if you own the Xbox One, you can play the originals backwards compat, the whole series, right?
Mhm.
So there you go. So unless you're like a graphics whore and you just got to have the best visuals possible, then sure, go for it. I mean, at
Yeah,
$30 or whatever, it's not a
it
bad
looks good.
investment if you love the campaign. But that's just it. There's no multiplayer in this one. It's just the campaign. The other one did have the multiplayer. This
Yeah.
one's just the campaign. Now, what I'm seeing is they're giving you the campaign, but again, they're charging you $30, and then they're adding the Warzone like into the package. If you go out and
Mhm.
buy that game, you'll be able to I guess use the Warzone, which I would imagine it's the Warzone for the current game of Call of Duty, the new Modern Warfare.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like a double edge. Obviously, you see what they're trying to do. It's like a baiting tactic to get
Yeah.
people that love the old game, but try to get them onto the new Warzone mode. Obviously, I think that's where they're going for, and
Oh, you
again,
got
it's
it.
more money in their pocket. It's a baiting tactic. As far as exclusivity, I really don't care. Like if you got a PlayStation 4, you love the game that much, of course, own it day one. Xbox is a month. Like what the hell is a month, right? Like we got so many games to play right now. It's not eating my ass that I can't play Modern Warfare 2 on day
Yeah.
one. Like, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Now, if you said it was coming out like a year or two later, I'd probably be a little bit like, okay, now that's kind of bullshit. But
Oh, that's horrible
um,
when they do that.
yeah, but it is what
But
it is.
it's that controller though, man. I mean, so if I am a huge Call of Duty fan, I'm not
But
going to go over and play it on that. If I've got my, my Xbox controller tailored to first person shooters, then, I mean, that's another inconvenience there. But I mean, you make a good point with it saying it's just a month. If you're not impatient on it, it's not a big deal though.
yeah, Warzone is free. It's a free mode, but they have it tacked in with the game. They're saying so it probably comes on that disc, so probably you don't have to download it or something. I mean,
Mhm.
they're not charging you for it if you buy Modern Warfare 2. It's just like I said, it's a baiting tactic. They're hoping that
Definitely.
people that are nostalgic or they see that Call of Duty game, they're going to run out and buy this game, and then all of a sudden they're going to go, "Oh, what's this Warzone mode all about?" And then they play it. There you go. Next thing you know, they're buying microtransactions.
Yeah.
You and I know the difference, but the people that spend the most on microtransactions are generally people that are very overzealous about a game or they're
Yeah.
stupid. One of the two. Okay? They're
Yeah.
usually the stupid ones. They're like the kids that don't know any better. They got to have a pink gun and they got to have a weird shirt and they got to, all this
Overnight
kind of
12-year
crap.
old.
Like I love Gears of War like no tomorrow, and I haven't spent a freaking dime on microtransactions, and I refuse to. I do not. I'm not paying $5 or whatever the hell it is to buy like a stupid
Yeah.
character for a game. Like I really
Well,
don't need it that bad. Sorry.
here's the difference with Gears, though. If you play through the operations, if you actually go into the actual
Yeah.
operations and you look at them, they
Hmm.
give you iron and they give you scrap and stuff
Yeah.
for playing through and knocking out all the challenges. So I mean,
Nice.
you can use that. You don't even have to spend real money if you know how to do that stuff. So it's a
Cool.
little,
I'm gonna
little
have
bit.
I'm gonna have to look into that because I would like to get some of those old school characters for sure, but I'm not paying big money for them. So,
Yeah.
EA and Star Wars learned that lesson pretty hard last year. That's for sure with Battlefront 2. So, but yeah. So there you go, guys. Anyway, it is what it is. If you like Call of Duty Modern Warfare, go pick it up. Like I said, it's dirt cheap. Speaking of Mark J Owens, if you guys know him on Twitter, he is doing a giveaway with Fork Boy for a digital copy of the Xbox edition when it releases. So go check that out if you're on Twitter, all that good stuff. Let's get into a couple more stuff here before we close the show. Let me just check out where I am on my list of stuff here. Hopefully Primal gets back. It kind of sucks that she's gone again. So here's let me see where did I leave off because my topics aren't necessarily in order here. I think we already talked. Yeah, we already got to everything. So we're down to our last one here, last topic, and then Primal's question. So Play and Trade Canada, there's like a GameStop style store up here in Vancouver. Apparently, they're taking pre-orders for the PS5, and they have a price listing on their site at about $549 Canadian, which technically puts it in that $399 ballpark US.
Mhm.
Do you think that's possibly legit? Do you think Sony can come in at that price point, Avers?
Well, I've got a couple questions here. First, so the Play and Trade, are they the same level as EB Games, or are they?
No, they're a smaller, more independent store, and apparently they're asking for like a 50% deposit on that
Okay.
on the pre-orders.
All right. We haven't heard of any leaks from EB or GameStop, right? With any pre-orders or anything like that, or any price tags yet?
Not officially, no,
Okay.
nothing yet.
So I would venture to say that they are just throwing that out there as kind of like a ballpark at first.
Right.
However, You said that puts it in the $399 range for America. Is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Wow. So it's a 150 increase for Canada.
Oh yeah. Well, for example, when I bought the Xbox One X,
Mm.
it's $599 Canadian, $499 US.
Okay. Okay. Well, that would put it in line with what we heard about the cost to manufacture the box. They were saying right above
Mhm.
450. So, American dollars. So that does kind of make sense there. It's possible somebody there that priced it has some type of connection. I've seen those types of things happen in previous generations before, but
Mhm.
I would say kind of unlikely. I do think the 5 is probably going to be $499 here in the States. So that'll put it, if it's aligned about $100 or so, that would put it at about 600 there in Canada, I think. So
Yeah.
that's my best guess on that. What do you think?
I think it's bogus. I think it's more of a placeholder price than anything. I mean, I don't know if Sony's willing to swallow that much of a loss on each console unless they're legitimate about like coming out swinging this gen. And anything is possible, right? I mean, they
Yeah.
know that Microsoft right now has the power advantage, but Sony could be exactly the same price as the Xbox Series X, and it would still sell just as well, if not better. Like that's the thing. They don't have to be cheaper because I think Sony's going to do well. Regardless. Xbox is in a different scenario, as I've said in the past, simply because they're not reliant on the Series X to be the savior, be the be all. They would like to sell lots of consoles, sure, but they're more happy with Game Pass subscriptions, right?
Yeah, you're right.
And right now, like you see recently, like the aggressive sales push on the Xbox One X, where they've been dropping it like crazy amounts. People are getting them for what, $200 or something like that. Like US is insane for that tech. So I think it's going to be higher than that. I really do. I think if there's any price difference between the two consoles, it's probably going to be that $100 range again, and that would be probably adequate. I don't think Microsoft can compete on the price with Sony unless they're willing to take an even bigger cut. So I think this price is bogus. I'm expecting the console to probably come in at least $449 US and see where it goes. And Microsoft will probably be in that $549 to $599 on the Series X is what I'm thinking to be. And I'm willing to pay. If I paid $600 for my Xbox One X up here, I'm willing to pay $700 for the Series X. But I hope it doesn't come to that, but we'll see what happens. I think it's bogus. It might be a placeholder. I understand why they would charge in like a 50% deposit, because with this virus that's happening right now, and the way production is in the world, like the demand is going to be high, and they can't really afford to be like having like those. I think I'll just buy one or two just because, you know what I mean? Or end up having all of the scalpers, because that's what's going to happen. Scalpers are going to try to buy up all these fucking consoles and then sell them at like 3 times the price because of the way the production is right now. So
production's got to be strained at the end of this year if they're going to launch. Do you think there's a chance? What would you say the chances are of both consoles getting delayed or one getting delayed till next year?
I don't think either one will get delayed, but what I'm expecting is that the initial shipments are going to sell out very quick, and then the follow-up shipments may be well behind schedule is what I'm thinking. So I think they're going to be very sparse and hard to get. That would be my guess. I think they're going to have but the initial numbers might be lower than what they anticipated too, right?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Although Xbox says they're on track and everything's good, but I don't know, man. Like, there's a lot of tech going there, a lot of production, a lot of components. So I don't know. Speaking of that, though, guys, if you're interested in the techie side of things, go check out the latest Digital Foundry video, because they actually have the Xbox Series X apart, and it's impressive. Unbelievable when they take that machine apart. The kind of tech that's going on inside that box it'll blow your mind. I watched it today and I was like, wow. Like, they have this gigantic heat sink and massive fan in there. The placement of the cores and everything else it's just nuts, man. Like, there's some fancy tech stuff going on with that thing, let me tell you. So yeah, so that is it on that. Any further thoughts on that, or we're good to go?
No, not too much on that. I do kind of feel that there is a chance. It depends on how long this goes on with quarantine. I do feel like there's a chance that one of them could get pushed back. I don't think Microsoft will get pushed back. They seem very, very confident about getting it out on time. They keep saying holiday. There was that one leak from one of the websites that said Thanksgiving, which is a really odd time to release the console, unless they meant the week before Thanksgiving. I could see that. But I doubt they're launching console on Thanksgiving Day. That doesn't seem right. Major Nelson was pretty quick to squash that, but then he said we're launching holiday, and everybody astutely noticed.
Oh, I saw that too, and it was made by Xbox coming Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, but that is holidays, what everybody was jumping on. Like,
well, right, yeah, that is classified as a holiday season. It's in November, so that's where it starts. It's just Thanksgiving, and for you guys, it's Thanksgiving runs into Christmas, right? Whereas up here in Canada, our Thanksgiving's in early October, so it's a little bit different, right? You guys have Black Friday and Thanksgiving all in that time frame. Our Black Friday comes at the same as your Black Friday, but there's nothing else correlating with it, right? So
yeah, that's true.
So. But yeah,
I think they'll still. I think Microsoft is going to shoot for that same window. So they've released all their Xboxes between November 13th and November 17th, if I have that correct. And so I think they want to hit that same window to stay consistent with what they're doing, and they have a good chance of doing it, even with what's going on right now, because those boxes are manufactured in Shanghai. So Shanghai should be completely done with this by now, if we believe what China's putting out there to their media, which is being circulated here by our media. If all of that's true, then they should be fine.
Yeah.
Sony, though, they've been kind of running around chasing their own tail for quite a while now. They seem a little discombobulated, so I don't know if they're going to be able to make that, but we'll see. Maybe you're right. I think you're right on the price difference for sure about that, but it'll be interesting to see what goes on with all this.
Totally. Well, it's interesting. Spider-Man in the chat said Phil said they were not going to lose on pricing. I know it was one of the things he was very adamant on, but that's the weird thing. Yeah, they may not lose on price, but the question is, what are they not willing to lose price on? Because we've heard lots of these rumors about the Xbox Lockhart, which at this point is a lot of people are claimed to be insiders or whatnot, and the reputable podcasts are saying that it is a legitimate thing, that there is a Lockhart system coming. So the thing is, they won't lose on price because they'll have a next gen system that comes in, lower spec than the Series X, but it'll be less spec than the PS5 and come in less money. So if that's what he means, that we won't lose on price, then yeah, sure. But that's kind of that's a lot of wish-washy, you know what I mean? Because I agree. That's misleading, because he's not saying they won't lose on price on the Series X, but they may beat them somewhere else, which is still technically true. But I mean, heck, if they were going to make sure that they were going to beat PS5 on price with the Series X, that would be impressive, and I would be blown away. But I'm not sure if that's going to happen. But I guess we'll wait and see.
Do you consider them matching the PS5 price as winning?
Totally, but the key is here now, and this is the catcher, right? I think they know what price they want to be at, but this is the tricky part. They know Sony never goes first with this shit. This is the thing. Yeah. Sony always waits. They always wait till Microsoft puts the pressure on, and then they counter strike. So Microsoft could put this thing down to $499. Sony will come up and well, ours is $449. Right? Exactly. That's the thing. And this is what bugs the crap out of me. Like, they always wait for Microsoft. They're always a reactive person instead of proactive, right? That's the difference between the companies. And it drives me kind of bonkers, right? Because then they look like the good guys. Oh, we're the good guy. We did this. Because we all know the fiasco in 2013. Sony was planning to bundle in their camera too. And then they caught wind that Microsoft was putting the Kinect in and their price point. So they went, let's take out our camera and we'll drop our system by 100 and we're going to kick the competitor's ass. And guess what happened? Well, they kicked the competitor's ass.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
It was a huge thing,
They designed their whole plan around sabotaging their competitor every time. And they do it very well.
And the most ironic thing about that whole scenario is now today, the Kinect doesn't exist anymore, basically. They don't make them, right? The Kinect doesn't exist unless you still have one. You keep it updated. But the PlayStation Eye still exists. It is still getting sold, and it fucking functions now just like the Kinect.
Yeah, that's true.
Like literally, it has the voice commands and everything. I'm sitting there playing with it one night, and I'm like, "Well, isn't that weird?" Everybody bitched about Kinect. Now Sony's got their own. It wasn't intended to be that way when they launched it, and obviously they sell a lot of cameras because you need one if you're going to have the PSVR. Yeah, they go hand in hand, right? So now they're selling it like you got to sit there and go, "Wow, like really, like this is nuts," right? But anyway, I'm getting off topic. The Kinect being forced was a bad idea. They should have took their loss on the Kinect, and it could have been a huge hit. or at least took it out of the box right from the get-go. But that was the thing, because they built the whole operating system around Kinect. So they wanted people to have it because they also wanted enough people to adopt the Kinect that developers would feel confident making games for it, because nobody wants to make games for peripheral that doesn't have mass adoption, right? Because then you're always like, so yeah.
That was the boneheaded move that they made, because in previous generations, I'm talking about the 360, they made stuff optional. If you remember when they came out with the arcade box that didn't even have a hard drive, like that was optional. And then people realized, oh, heck, I kind of really want that hard drive. So they went out and paid $100 on, I think it was even more than that at one point.
Oh yeah, those are overpriced big time.
So they were raking in cash. So who the heck made the call at Microsoft to not make there be an option where you could buy without having the Kinect, and then charge $150 for those people that are going to want to add it later? They could have raked in more cash that way. That would have been smarter. They would have had a cheaper SKU that matched the PS4 SKU price. That's really crazy they didn't do that. If they go with a 2-console thing this time, I think that's kind of what you were talking about with what I'm saying, trying to beat them on price, and what some of the people in the chat said as well. That could work. That could help them out this time.
And technically you do, right? Technically they would beat them on price. They just advertise it differently. Well, we still have a next-gen console. This thing has many of the capabilities of the Series X, but it's this, and this, and it's way cheaper. I mean, even because I've heard like Dealer and those guys are friends saying that the Lockhart might even be like a 4 teraflop system, which is still nothing to sneeze at. It's even less than the Xbox One X. But here's the deal: all the rest of it will be a lot of the rest of it will be basically.
You can do ray tracing, right?
Yeah, it'll be Series X tech, and it won't have that bottleneck because it's not based on the Jaguar X86 processor anymore. So that's the difference. It'll be running a lower clock, which will make it easier for heat. They'll have to use less components, all that stuff. And plus, I would imagine Lockhart may not come with a disk drive. So there you go. Boom, you got an easy access, easy entry into the next level of gaming without the big price point. But I don't know. Like, it's all speculation. I guess we're going to find out in another couple of months here when things settle down. Microsoft will probably do a show here in the next little while, and we'll definitely find out.
Right around E3, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Alrighty. Well, our final topic of the night is actually the Primal Eve question of the week, guys. And I'm really sad that she's not here to answer that, because obviously it's her birthday, and it's a birthday question. It is, what was your best and or worst birthday that you can ever remember? So there you go. And I would love to hear from everybody in the chat. If you had a great birthday, what was something that you found great about it? Maybe what was a birthday you'd care to forget about? And I'll start with you, my guest on the show, Avers. How about you, man? Do you have a best or worst birthday ever?
Oh man, it's technically the same answer. So when I was 9 years old, it was my birthday. We went out to eat. My mom had a allergic reaction to shellfish, so she almost died. So that made it like what would have been the worst birthday. Right. But they were able to save her at the hospital, and it ended up being the wish that I had, that I definitely prayed for, that she would not have that type of thing. So that's the one that sticks in my head above every other birthday by far. And since then, it's been pretty uneventful. So I'm glad that I have not had anything too crazy. How about you?
Yeah, so second chance with your mom is basically what you're saying.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, you can't really go wrong with that, man. It's what it's all about. It's about family. So definitely, I can't really top that one, man. That's pretty hard to beat. Like I said, it could have nearly been your worst birthday, and to some degree it was, but turned out to be a good one because you still have your mom with you. So
yeah.
It's good stuff. For me, it's hard for me to think of a bad birthday that was my worst, because I never really had a bad birthday per se. I've had a lot of mundane, forgettable ones, like years where you can't remember what you did or what you got or anything. But I will definitely go with my best one. My best. Let's check out the chat first, though, because Darko is here. His best was getting my first car, and worst, my wife wrecked my first car, the '87 Toyota Supra. So there you go. Got a car for his birthday, and his wife wrecked it. Is she still your wife, though, Darko? Timothy Dixon says 2016, was 43, went with family to Florida Disneyland Universal for the night around the birthday. Don't think it'll ever top it. So yeah, going to Disneyland's got to be definitely very memorable, that's for sure. So great ones, guys. Is she still his wife? He said no. There you go. So it's she's your ex-wife then now. For me, it's pretty simple. I think it was my 40th birthday, so I'll be 44 this year. So 4 years ago, a bunch of my friends got together. They took me out for first of all a big pizza dinner, which was fantastic to start off with. Then they went and treated me to laser tag, which I basically hadn't played since I was a kid. We had a big game of laser tag, right? And I thought that was awesome too, something different, something fun. We had a really good time. And to top it all off, and this one didn't happen until a couple of days later, but it was all part of the package for my friends. But my friend came over and said, "Hey, I want to come over and visit for a bit." And he's like, "I got a pizza for you." And I was like, "Cool, man. Sure, I love pizza, right?" So he comes in with this big pizza box, like literally, it looks like one of those large white pizza boxes, right? I'm like, "Cool, man, fucking pizza." And he sets it down on the table. He's like, "Dig in." And I go, I open up the lid, and what should I see underneath? It wasn't a pizza at all. They had all put in their money and chipped in, and they got me an autographed Edmonton Oilers Bill Ranford jersey. I'm a huge Bill Ranford fan,
That's awesome.
and to have a jersey with his signature on it, dude, like I could have cried. That was fucking amazing. Like I said, I thought I was getting a pizza, and I got something even better. So that has to go down as my most memorable birthday
have it, right?
because I still have it. I'm going to put it in a case, and I'll be taking a pictures of my game set up my room when we move into our new house. But that was pretty fucking cool, man.
That's awesome, man. That's a good one.
So, like I said, bad ones. No, I never had a bad one. Just a lot of them that I could forget about. Like I can't even like last year's birthday. I'm pretty sure was damn forgettable. So, yeah, eight teraflops is what you're saying. You heard it could be 8.
Yeah, I've heard that a couple times now.
8 would make a lot more sense. Like I would hate to see it be like less than the friggin' Xbox One X. That kind of makes.
X came out in 2017. I don't think they can get away with putting 4 T-flops in this box, even if it is going to be cheaper. I get what people are saying about the ray tracing and the solid state drive. I get it, but no, they're going to get eaten alive by the media. They're going to get eaten alive by the fanboys out there. They're never going to hear the end of it. So it's got to be more powerful than the X.
When Jay Slayer was 10, he got a cool bike. And poor Jesse says, to be honest, I've never had a good one. They've always been average. Well, Jesse, my friend, it sounds like you're definitely in need of a great birthday. And my friend, if you were here close to me, I would make sure that your next one would be one to remember because I'd give you a Noof Nukem Boom Boom Kaboom birthday. Yeah. Alrighty. So, yeah, and I would, and it wouldn't be like that dude on Tiger King, right? Seducing people with meth and what was it, meth and stuff? I saw a thing today? Was it Tiger King? Was it that when a gay hillbilly guy seduces 2 straight guys with meth and something else? I was like, oh my god, that's funny. I don't know if you guys have watched that Tiger King show on Netflix, but that is some effed up shit on that show. Let me tell you, man. Oh man, it's based on real people, true story, and it's like 7 episodes. It's not that long to watch it, but boy, by the time you get to the end, your head will be spinning. You're like, what the hell did I just watch? This is some crazy shit. These people need some serious help. There are some weirdos out in this world, man. Holy mackerel. But yeah, even less at 4, it's still more powerful, comparable than 6 is Dreadpool. Yeah, that would be the Sony theory, right? 4 is better. That's right. Somehow they've configured a way for this machine to run faster. Anyway, but that is it for tonight, guys. Again, Primal sends her love. I'm sure it's too bad that we lost her before the show ended, but that is it. So big shout out to all of the chat tonight. You've been fantastic, as you always are each and every week.
Yeah, great chat.
Oh, fantastic chat. We got no trolls in here, man. It's been really good so far. You might get the odd one, but so far I've been lucky. But I guess it's because it's a small podcast, right? Starbuck Unlimited, what's going on, man? Or Starbuck United, thanks for being here. There you go. You get your shout out. Hopefully I gave everybody a shout out tonight who's been hearing the show because you are appreciated, each and every one. Again, big shout out to Primal Eve. Happy birthday here, Primal. I was going to sing you happy birthday. I'll have to do it at another time. But I'm going to end this show and we're going to say adieu. And let our guests tell you where they can find his channel and all that good stuff. So, Avers, first of all, on behalf of myself and Primal, you've been a fantastic guest. Definitely going to have you on here in the future. And I'm pretty sure our chat liked you as well. So thanks for coming here and let people know where they can find you.
Yeah, it's G4G Media. It's in the chat right now. I just typed thanks, guys. And so you can click on it there if you want to subscribe. And then on Twitter, it's just Avers at G4G Media. If you type in Avers, I believe I'm the only one that comes up. So pretty easy to find there. Yeah, man, it's thank you for having me on. And you guys, like I said before, you guys have a kick-ass show. It is laid back. You guys are awesome. That is rare in podcasting. That is rare on YouTube. That is rare on Twitter these days. Everyone is pretty high-strung, and you know, people have these big egos, and there's a lot of prima donnas out there. And you guys are definitely paving the way for a new type of show, and I really like this style above everything out there at the moment. So, man, thank you for having me on, and it's a great show.
Well, that's a very high compliment because that's exactly what we're going for, and I'm glad that somebody appreciates that. We're doing things a little bit different. There's no flash and dash, but you know, we keep it simple, but we keep it fun, fast paced, good energy. That's what we're going for here. Like I said, Primal, and you don't even get a lot of female gamers out there either. And I'm very fortunate and happy to have Primal, who's knowledgeable, can kick ass, all that good stuff. And maybe sometime when you come on, we'll have to get Moxie to join you too and kind of do the tag team going here. That would be pretty fun.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Indeed. But yeah, thanks again for being here. Hope you enjoyed it. I know I've enjoyed being here. There's a lot of good topics tonight. Great chat. So guys, you always know where to find me. It's boom, boom, kaboom, noof, nuke. I'm leaving the room. You guys find me, follow me on Twitter, all that good stuff. And let's go play some games. Peace out, everybody, and have yourself a great night. All right, we're off.